Christmas is around the corner, and we have quite a lovely email from Jamie Morales Narvaez. Jamie Morales, he calls himself here. And he says, Duck Hunt, I just wonder what all your favourite Christmas movie moments are. I always get stick for calling Die Hard a Christmas movie, but I love the moment the vault opens to Ode to Joy, which is a brilliant moment.
Yeah. It is a Christmas movie.
Of course it's a Christmas movie.
Who says it isn't.
So, let's talk about our favourite Christmas movie moments. Not Christmas movies, but moments within.
Okay.
I mean, I'll kick off with one from Die Hard. I love it when he's ho ho ho, now I have a machine gun. I think that's it's a really dark, horrible, funny bit, but it just perfectly sums up John McClane.
Yeah.
You know, he's just really winding these guys up. He's not just taking them out, he's winding them up before he does it.
Yeah.
It's a funny moment in maybe the greatest Christmas movie. So yeah, another Die Hard one, Jamie. I'm with you on that one.
Rory?
I love Jingle All the Way.
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's a Christmas film.
Yeah.
It is just incredible. So there's one amazing line where you've both seen the film.
Yeah.
He's out searching for the Turbo Man doll to get for his son, and the neighbor, who is essentially a frisky Ned Flanders, is back home flirting with his wife. And he's baking eating the cookies the wife has made.
Yeah.
And there's one point where Arnold goes, "Put that cookie down now!" And he screams, and then of course everyone is staring at him. I love that whole film. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Wow, I'm just taking, while you were out of the room, I was saying to Luke, I'm taking a whole lot of abuse for saying on Twitter just now that Jingle All the Way is the worst Christmas movie.
What?
Yeah, and a load of
Chris,
people,
no!
a load of people are tweeting me back, put down the cookie as well.
Yes, that's right.
There you go.
But hey, it's your,
part of the problem.
We're not here to.
That
I'm not here
film's
to judge.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great that we've all got different opinions. I mean, it's really loud and obnoxious. And Luke,
But then so's Rory.
Yeah, there you go. So it
So,
works perfectly.
I would say Love Actually. Now, I really like a moment in Love Actually. Just one moment in particular. So the Rowan Atkinson bit is quite silly, but generally, I actually think that moment that everyone knows, the moment where Emma Thompson gets the gift and unwraps it, and it's the CD rather than the necklace that Alan Rickman's bought for the hussy.
Yeah.
And
The hussy.
the hussy. And it just
hell.
your heart breaks, and it's she just kind of, she's trying to hold it together. She's like, "Wow, it's Joni Mitchell, thank you." Who in herself, like, Joni Mitchell's the most depressing music you can get as well. And I think that really cuts through all the pomp and ceremony of the rest of the kind of movie, and it's just like, in actual fact, it's Christmas, but it's like that line in Friends where they're like, even though it's Christmas, people still die. It's like, even though it's Christmas, you can still be really miserable, like, and it can be quite awful.
and that's your favorite Christmas
wow,
moment?
that's a lovely moment.
Machine guns and you picked death.
No,
I'm the only one that picked cookies.
It gets
in the
better.
German accent.
It gets better. It gets better.
Austrian.
No, sorry, guys.
But,
I'm gonna get flack for that now.
Yeah,
On Twitter.
there you go. It does get better, but I just thought that was a nice one to start off with, just because it's one of the more real kind of Christmas moments.
Yeah.
Because in actual fact, I think everyone feels a lot of pressure at Christmas to be happy and jolly, whereas that's a bit more like, that's one of the things that makes that film quite good. It can be quite...
I don't know if I want to continue if we've picked Love Actually and Jingle All the Way.
No, it's fine.
I feel a bit sick.
No, I get better.
But let's go around the table. Okay. So I've had that one. I'm gonna say I love Elf.
Yeah,
I love
okay.
Elf. I saw an early preview of it. It was a Sunday morning. I was really hungover, and I was surrounded by children making noise, and it was like a nightmare.
This is hell, yeah.
And thank God the film was good.
Yeah.
I really good, because the kid next to me doesn't know how close he came to me vomiting on him during that movie. But I feel like it's kind of a Pixar movie brought to life in that it's got something for adults, it's got something for kids. It works on a bunch of levels, and it's genuinely funny. And I really like the bit where he recognises Santa.
Yeah.
And he gets so
it's
excited
adorable.
because it's that childlike excitement you would get when you see Santa.
Yeah.
And I think Will Ferrell's at his best when he's kind of playing innocent, dim kind of innocent characters.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I just think that scene really makes me laugh.
Yeah.
They really nailed it, because I think it's difficult to make specifically a Christmas film, to make a Christmas film in this day and age that becomes a tradition.
And
it already has every Christmas.
Because
Elf
the
is
first,
back on.
I was working for a magazine. We did a feature on it. There wasn't a lot of interest. It wasn't a big hit. We talked it up a lot where I worked, and then I don't know. I didn't hear much about it for about 5 years, and then it's I think maybe Channel 4 had the rights to it and were playing it every year here, and it just became a thing where you would notice on Twitter suddenly everyone was talking about it at the same time.
Lines like people saying like, "Oh, I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins" and stuff like that. Like, That's like, but also I don't know if anything to do with Zooey Deschanel's kind of star in The Ascendant, because back then no one really knew who she was, and now she's kind of
with New Girl and
now New Girl, and also she did
like
Yes Man and stuff like that.
When she sings that duet with him, and when she's taking a shower, it's kind of weird.
It is,
but your heart kind of melts because her voice is so lovely. I was going to say,
because her voice is so like jazzy and
and Judy Garland.
Yeah, so like that's. I also had Elf, and I had like just Zooey Deschanel singing.
Okay, well, that's a really good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Rory.
So my next one is, and I'm interested to see what you think of this.
No judgment here anymore.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Very good, very
film.
good.
Yes.
Very good.
One of the best Christmas Carol adaptations, I think.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We kind of have a tradition in my house where we watch it on every Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So it's like, the thing we do before we go to bed. And just that opening number about Ebenezer Scrooge, and it kind of just shows you the magic of this town filled with Muppets and all the marketplace, the bustling marketplace. It's just incredible, and the design and the artwork and the music is just I absolutely love
it's magical.
So much.
Like Christmas is supposed to be magical, and that captures it, I think.
Completely, yeah. So that is hands down one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time.
Yeah.
A little nicer than Put the Cookie Down.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
There you go. I mean, my next one is, I don't know if it's a bit of a weird one, but kind of like you guys watch it every Christmas Eve. Your family. I always watch this every Christmas Eve, and it's The Nightmare Before Christmas. And it's
You stole my third one.
There you go.
Man.
And it's that song. It's what's this? What's this?
Yeah,
and and it's just kind of again that childlike excitement where you're just kind of, and he's misinterpreting everything, but you're like, this is amazing. It's just And I remember the first time I saw it, because I was kind of interested in the whole macabre stuff about it when I first saw it, and then I just think it marries the two so beautifully. And so that was my next one.
Well, that film is fantastic because it is like a double barrel film. So I watch it every Halloween,
Yes.
but I also watch it every Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
so torn. I don't know which one.
And then the
It's
summer
like-
months, on the shelf.
It's
gone.
Exactly. No, that's a great film.
What scene would you pick from that one then? So I'm just checking
well, if it's Christmas related, then I definitely would pick the Christmas one.
Yeah.
But even that film is grim.
It is.
The conclusion to that.
There's always a temptation that I have to kind of switch it off before we get to the end, because it kind of goes a little bit wrong. Like where he's kind of going on a bit of a rampage. But
they should just have him like leave on the sleigh and then like fade to credits.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm gonna
Merry
do.
Christmas.
And
make a little PG
stop.
version.
Yeah, so
exactly. That's the way to do it.
Has anyone else got the entire finale to Home Alone?
Which one? One or two?
One.
I have two.
Because it was so. I think we talked about this a year ago.
We've argued about this.
If I'm honest with you, because I think 2 is a good movie. I mean, it's a remake essentially, but it was because the first one, it was just you'd never seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
And I was at the right age. When did it come out?
Early 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was about the same age as Kevin.
Yeah.
And so it was just amazing watching this kid get one over on all these adults.
Yeah.
And man, it's so funny. Like you look back at it, and it's so evil.
You'd never get it made, would
He's
you?
psychotic, that kid is.
Yeah,
he really
but
is.
Man, it's funny when you're watching it, and I think it helps because of Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern being such funny, such good actors and such brilliant physical comedians in it.
Yeah.
So go on, do Home Alone 2
Yeah,
then,
so
because
2 I was going to do. So in terms of like an actual Christmas moment, that moment where he's standing in front of the tree is obviously amazing. And also the toy shop is great.
Oh, yeah.
I also love the Plaza Hotel just because. One of my things that I've always wanted to do is go to New York at Christmas and go to the Plaza Hotel just to see it all decorated.
Yeah.
Because I think that's brilliant. But yeah, that psychotic moment, like in 2, it's when he's on the roof and he's throwing the bricks down and it hits Daniel Stern in the head, and just the sound effect. It's just such a. It's like it is bone on stone.
Yeah.
It's like
bone on
bang.
Stone.
And it's so harsh.
It's funny because it's making like comical of something that could easily kill a man.
He should be dead.
Well,
exactly.
It's a Tom and Jerry cartoon brought to life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I watched it with someone who didn't speak any English last year.
Yeah.
That just the last half hour, and you don't need any words in that movie, really. It was. It's pretty much the biggest comedy of all time when it came out. The first one was, and it is. It's funny all the way through, and then it's really funny. Again, it's a bit obnoxious. I don't like obnoxious, but we're having that one.
I used to set Home Alone traps in my house all the time after seeing that film.
And that's how your
Traps
father
and
died.
things like that.
Any more, Rory?
He tripped up on crushed Christmas decorations.
We're going to keep going on these till we run out. Have you got any more, Rory?
Yes, I do actually have one.
What's up next? It's the coffee's kicking in.
Yeah,
I think.
I can see.
I'm already
I do.
down. I'm halfway through this one. It's A Wonderful Life. I really, really like that film.
I find
Christmas
it a bit,
classic.
I do find it a bit bleak. That's
Which
my-
scene?
The obligatory black and white, you know?
Yeah. It was in my top 10. It was actually in my top 10.
I actually really enjoy the whole sequence of when he actually doesn't exist and no one recognizes him. Because as a kid, I was terrified that was going to happen to me one day when I woke up. That I would like go downstairs and no one would know who I was.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really exciting. And in that like Christmas setting, all with the snow coming down, and
Yeah.
it's pretty bleak as well. Actually, now that I think about it, but it always just kind of sticks with me in the Christmas film. Yeah.
Well, that's what I said in my write-up where I put it on my list. That it's funny, it's clever film in that it's 2 hours of relentless misery with 10 minutes of happiness and joy at the end.
Yeah.
And yet, it's in a weird way, you only really remember the joy. Like it seems like you just remember it being a happy film, and it's not at all. It's really sad.
It just is like a decline. It just gets bleaker and bleaker until there's just this happy little payoff.
Yeah, so for me, it's the ending. It's when he's running through the town, you know, and waving at everyone, and it's just...
So, I mean,
it makes me cry.
I saw that for the first time when I used to work in an independent cinema. So I actually saw it on a screen.
Cool.
And obviously, I had no idea what was coming at the end. I was like, because I've heard bits of it, and I was like, this is so depressing. And we were kind of allowed to. It was Christmas. We were allowed to help ourselves to alcohol. So I was just happily drinking my way through the pain.
Bad
there.
idea. Do not sync up your
and then at the
alcoholism
end,
with that
and then
film.
at the end, it's like there's the happy bit, and of course I'm like, oh god, and just start crying. So yeah, that was.
It does make me well up though. The ending.
Yeah, I think it's.
I don't need help.
Film.
It's a lovely film, and God, I fear that someone's going to remake it one day, and it would just.
There's been mutterings about that, I swear.
Yeah, it would just be. Even they did a colorized version of it, and it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Luke,
I like the I like Polar Express. I think that's actually the end is.
well, you know what isn't more Christmassy than cold dead eyes of animated characters that don't look right. That really is the joy of Christmas.
Well, I was
staring into the bleakness and the
with,
nothing.
with Tom Hanks that looks like something's gone wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
No, I liked Polar Express. The bit on when they first get on the train, and you know they're all getting like hot like cocoa type stuff. I was like, that just feels quite Christmassy, and they're all in their pajamas, and then you just have one old man with a bit of a dodgy moustache. And in hindsight now, looking back, I'm like, that's a questionable setup, but like at the time I thought that was quite sweet.
I've never watched it. It was kind of a hit at the time. It got some pretty bad reviews, mainly because of the appearance of like the human characters. But it's really become quite a following.
It still comes on,
released.
doesn't it?
It's released every year in cinemas. It's re-released in IMAX and stuff. And it makes money. Like that's one that's just kind of motoring on in the way that I think Frozen will be one that's going to be released every year from here on in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that re-releasing thing is something that doesn't really happen. It used to happen when I was a kid. You'd get E.T. was released like 4 years in a row, but now it doesn't seem to happen. But with Polar Express and now I think with Frozen,
it's a big thing. I think it's happening. Well, it's especially happening with Christmas films because obviously everyone gets into the festive spirit and things like that. So it's popular to really re-release these films. Be interesting to see. Because, I mean, it does happen a little bit for Halloween. You know, when Halloween's coming around and some cinemas will show or, like, have events where they'll show, like, horror films and things like that.
All the Saw films.
But, yeah, it is definitely happening a lot more these days where you'll see Christmas films reintroduced to the cinema. And, I mean, I actually saw that film 3 times in the cinema as a child due to poorly planned field trips and family trips and things like that. And I could not tell you a thing about it.
Oh, really?
It did not stick with me at all.
Yeah.
I know there's a train. I know Tom Hanks is there.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of present mountain at some point?
There is some sort of present mountain.
That's telling, though. That's interesting.
It is. It absolutely is.
And maybe that's
Rory
why
has an awful memory.
Yes.
Maybe that's why I've never really sought it out because maybe I just feel like I'm too old at this point.
Again,
I
saw this when I was in the cinema, like working at that cinema. So
yeah.
What about the story about the father in Gremlins?
No, that's controversial.
Yeah, because I watched that film as a kid, and that film scared me a little bit as a kid. And I remember my parents didn't like it very much; they didn't like me watching it, but I did watch it. And there was this the girl in it, played by Phoebe Cates, tells this horrendous story, like the most horrific story you can tell about how her father died. And I remember I would literally forward wind through it when I was a kid because it upset me and scared me so much.
Yeah.
But now as an adult and I watch it, it's really, really friggin' funny. Like it's a joke. Like it's a black joke. It's black comedy that I didn't get at the time. But now, you watch Joe Dante's movies and the way it's delivered, the way it's so relentlessly just the worst thing you could imagine in this fun Christmas horror movie. And I love it. And I piss myself when I watch it. So I think that's a really good scene now, one that I really hated as a child.
Yeah.
You're not a fan, Luke?
I do like it. So I saw Gremlins when I was far too young to see it. And again, I think I think a babysitter showed it to me under the idea, oh, well, of course, this is going to be, it's a fun Christmas movie.
Yeah,
and all I got was Gremlins, like these cute little fluffy things that look like my cuddly toys, could at any moment burst into like these creatures that want to kill me.
The Mogwai.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant movie, but I think it didn't mess with a lot of kids' childhoods because a lot of children were exposed to it maybe younger than they should have been.
Yeah, I think I need to revisit it
because it's nasty. It's a nasty film.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's worth revisiting. It's a really good Christmas, and it's got that sense of wonder of Christmas as well. It's set in small town America, you know, the same small town that It's a Wonderful Life is set in pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. That close community.
Yeah, and there's something. Yeah, it's a magical movie. But I remember, my dad didn't like it. He didn't like it at the ending when the Gremlins weren't blamed for it. They blamed it on people writing or something. He didn't like that. He didn't like that. Why haven't they got the blame?
It's all about responsibility.
Any more?
Yeah, I actually have
Come on,
one.
Rory. Let's keep it going.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Which
the
one?
Original.
The original.
Course.
Okay.
At the moment at the end when the girl spots the house that she asked Santa for, and then she runs inside, and then the parents are like, "Oh no, this isn't right," and then they find the what do they find? Is it crutch?
It's been a while since I've seen it.
I don't remember. They find some item that is the indication that it actually was Santa Claus who got them the house. And I love that moment as a kid because that's right at the end and it's just fantastic.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Spoiler. Oh god, yeah.
No, it's a great movie. But to be fair, I think the remake is pretty good. I think the casting of Richard Attenborough as Santa Claus works. The girl in it's adorable. Oh, it's Shirley Temple in the original, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're both great movies, but no, I agree. Miracle on 34th Street, I don't think it gets as much attention as maybe it should, especially because there's been a remake that was popular. But it's up there with It's a Wonderful Life in terms of a real sweet, lovely classic.
And that whole moment, the whole scene in the courtroom with the letters to Santa Claus, it's iconic.
Yeah.
It's the same with It's a Wonderful Life, the whole, Christmas, no one knows who you are, that sort of thing.
And I feel like Jingle All the Way a little bit, it's kind of wrapped up in the marketing of Christmas, and it kind of has a go at all that side of things, but it also kind of celebrates it a little bit. And I think the second half of Santa Claus the movie's a bit like that, whereas the first half's really good. But Miracle on 34th Street, it talks about the way it's become just a marketing tool for shops. Yeah. But at the same time, it cuts through that in a really sweet way that I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Where it's the whole kind of moral conclusion is that it's not the actual toy that mattered. It was spending time with the dad, and that's quite a nice conclusion to the film, wrapped in this comical commercial sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Luke,
I liked. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey one, I don't actually mind. I find
Oh my god!
I knew
you'd have to sit on the naughty step for that, because that's another loud, obnoxious. Just it's like someone shouting in my face for 90 minutes.
So I couldn't get into it. I don't think I watched the whole thing.
So I disagree, because for a start, there's the fact that the entire script rhymes, I actually find quite soothing. I also
put it on when you're going to bed.
That's the thing. I'm like, also, I do find Jim Carrey in a lot of his roles is totally OTT, but I think he dials it back slightly for this, maybe because the prosthetics restrain his face. And
Jim Carrey dials it back in The Grinch. That's a massive shout.
That's quite a claim, isn't
it? It's such an understated performance.
I don't mean that.
The film where he moves 5 body parts every other word.
I'm getting this. I'm not interpreting myself right, but it's. At the moment, I'm choosing anyway. I also like the aesthetics. I think it looks very Christmassy. It's
very stylized,
and the square they kind of have. I really like it. And the moment is when Cindy Lou Who meets the Grinch for the first time when she goes up to his cave, and it's just like it's the first time you've seen him interacting with anyone, and you kind of actually get, other than Max the dog with the little nose, which is cute.
That's why you like it, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it for Max, and also Cindy Lou Who is Taylor Momsen, who's obviously grown up to be a bit of a wild child. So
try hard. I'm going to talk about horror a little bit. As you know, I'm a horror aficionado. There's a couple of really good Christmas horror films that I recommend to people. Black Christmas from 1974. It's a slasher movie where kind of it's almost like the baddies in the house. It's kind of like the beginning of Scream. It's kind of influenced by that. And what I love about Black Christmas is it did it maybe 4 years before John Carpenter's Halloween. And everyone says John Carpenter's Halloween is this classic and it changed the film industry. But Black Christmas did it.
I haven't actually seen Black Christmas.
Halloween might be a little bit, it's a better made movie.
Yeah.
But a lot of the tropes, a lot of the ideas, and a lot of the tone, and it's all from Black Christmas. So I think that's a really good one. I haven't got a specific moment. I mean, it's your typical slasher fare, but I kind of like the fact that it's set at Christmas.
Yeah.
It makes it that much nastier. And there's a film called The Children, which I've championed on the site a few times. It's a British horror film from about 8 years ago, and it's about a couple of families going out to the countryside and spending Christmas together in like a kind of wood cabin. and the kids all start getting like a cold that they've all got, and they're all a little bit ill, and then slowly but surely, and they're quite young kids, they're toddlers pretty much.
Where are we going with this?
And then accidents start happening, and then people start dying, and the kids, the toddlers, are killing the parents because of this illness that they've got. And it's horrible, but you know what, it's really good. It's kind of good fun. Like it's done with a sense of fun, if you can say that about that thing. But so again, not a specific moment from that, but if you want to check out Christmas horror, I recommend Black Christmas, I recommend The Children, and finally there's a film called Rare Exports, which is a Finnish film from about 6-7 years ago, about kids trying to finding out the true secret of Santa, and he's actually evil. And it's brilliant. It's actually got that Joe Dante Gremlins tone to it, where it's a kids film, but it's nasty enough, or maybe too nasty for kids, and it's funny and it's dark, and you feel like you're watching something you shouldn't be. And there is a scene in that where there is an army of Santa's evil elves running across the snow. I think they're after the kids at the time, and they're all played by really old men who are naked. And you just see this. It's all done for real, and they've got quite really long beards that are kind of sometimes covering their genitals, but not always. And it's just this sea of ball bags like sprinting towards you
giving them black eyes. They're so dangly. Jesus.
It's a brilliant scene. It's my favourite bit of the movie, and that film is really worth seeking out.
Wow, well, you've sold me on it, definitely.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, any
Definitely
more?
Not for children.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's the, like, if you're not a young child, but like if you're 10 years old, I think you'd be sitting there going, "Wow, this is amazing."
This is great.
Any more?
I have one more.
Okay,
which
coming to the
is the Santa Claus.
Yes. Okay.
And I love the moment where they're taken on the sleigh to the North Pole, and obviously very skeptical that nothing's actually there. And then once it's revealed, the North Pole's there and the whole toy factory, and you're given this, magical kind of tour of what's going on. It's just fantastic as a kid. Like, you really buy into it. The little like train tracks that you can just hop on, and it goes all around the factory. I just think that's a great Christmas moment between like the father and the son as well. Because they're kind of struggling a little bit in their relationship, and then to go through this together, it's a great film. I absolutely love it.
Conveniently, I have one more, which is another modernish one, Arthur Christmas. Am I right in saying you haven't seen that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, no.
I've got it on DVD.
Yeah, Arthur Christmas.
I'm gonna make a note now.
Have you seen Arthur Christmas?
No.
Okay, so it's I think I'm right in saying James McAvoy voices the lead.
Yeah.
But it's just brilliant. It somehow manages to do something that, we've all seen. Well, we've given examples of so many Christmas films, but it's a slightly different twist on it. And his enthusiasm and exuberance is very childlike, but without spoiling it, he's part of the lineage of kind of Father Christmas, but like he isn't Father Christmas.
Yeah.
It's just a really, really nice. It's just a really nice film, and I went to see it with my mum about 2 years ago. I think we'd both kind of had a really rough couple of weeks in the run up to Christmas. And we were like, "Oh, should we just go to the cinema?" And there was nothing on, and we were just like, screw it, let's just go and see this because it's Christmassy and it'll cheer us up. And it was it just really kind of was really nice and really funny and really happy.
Yeah, good thing you didn't go see Ballbag Santa Claus over there.
Yeah, why not? How could things get worse? Oh wait. So I would heartily recommend Arthur Christmas. It's really good.
Okay, if you can each pick one moment, what would be your favourite out of all those?
That's tough.
I'm gonna probably go with either.
No, there's one choice.
Okay, I'll go for the Nightmare Before Christmas one because I make it a point to watch that on a yearly basis, and I just think that kind of joy, and God knows I love a musical. So.
Okay, Rory, if you can have one moment.
I am going to go with the opening sequence of the Muppet Christmas Carol. That's one as you said, like one soundtrack to a film that I have refused to let myself download and listen to. So I only get to hear the songs once a year. So it's a very special, because I'll get sick of it if you listen to it too much.
No, true.
So I only hear these songs once every year, and it just means so much to me. So that's definitely got to be mine.
Wow, so you both went for musical moments.
Yeah,
We did, yeah.
Well, music's emotive, isn't it?
I mean, I'm tempted to go for Ball Bag Santa Claus. Now you call it that. But I won't. I'll go for It's a Wonderful Life, George running through Bedford Falls, just happy to be alive.
Yeah, that is quite sweet.
That makes
All
me
great
feel
moments.
makes me feel very positive.
Yeah.
Yes.